to another investor interview. My name's Alistair Trippett, and in this episode, I meet Laura Muse, a Sheffield-based investor. She shows me around her 3 new build properties. They're all detached and they're all 3-bedroom. It's a really insightful new build development walk around for those that maybe are looking to get into new builds. They came across a few issues which you'd never know about unless you've done a new build development. As well as showing us around these properties, Laura runs us through all those little nitty-gritty things that I really like when investors talk about them. It's not something that they typically shout about on social media, but when you ask them to give a broad spectrum of that project that they're working on, they give you some of the highs and some of the lows. So some of the lows with this project were things such as greedy people not selling them, trying to use ransom strips of land and trying to get extortionate fees out of them, which they refuse to pay, and also easement rights over drainage to a neighbouring primary school. So really annoyingly, I realised halfway through this investor interview that the wireless mics weren't working. We've managed to salvage a lot of the content, but you will notice there's a few bits where it cuts around. But like I say, we managed to salvage the most important parts. I hope you enjoy this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay up to speed with all our investor interviews as they are released every single week.
So that's technically plot 1, but I call this plot 1 because it's ready first. So this one's more or less finished in the next couple of weeks. This one's already sold as the plot 3, as I class it as. That would be like a good week after in difference. So we can go in both so you can see the difference like that. But this one should be more or less there, so let's go and have a little wander. We actually bought the land outright ourselves, as JV partner is milling around, so he's the on-site manager. So we went 50-50 then on the land purchase. And then we've met an investor through, like you do with a network, and he's an angel investor, so he's lent $350 on 10% for 12 months. But we only started drawing down that after lockdown, so we're hoping to finish these by the end of September, so we'll be able to give him his money back way earlier than expected, which is good. No, we're really fortunate. Well, we had an investor originally, but they pulled out because they had a change in circumstance. And then we had a change in circumstance, so we went for some development finance, but fees and everything. And then last minute, this investor came on board, and we were like, "Thank you." Yeah. It just makes it a lot easier, and you don't have to have them out to assess it and blah blah. It's just. So yeah, this is it. So it is quite a big 3-bed property. This is going to be the downstairs toilet. Like I said, this one's already sold, and they're on the market for $225. Living room, which is quite a nice size. We were going to dress these, but we've already sold one, so we're going to kind of reserve judgment. And we've potentially sold the middle plot, but they want to do an exchange with their house, and we just need to analyse it to make sure it fits right in our portfolio. So the kitchen's partly in. We've had a few issues with Howdens in regards to they haven't sent half of their order, so we're just waiting on the rest of that to come. And this is a Fairford. I think it's a Fairford kitchen. We were going to go with Magnet actually, but we've used Howdens for years, and we do get quite a good discount with them. We're going to try Magnet, but they can always match your price, can't they, when you say you're going elsewhere. So we're going to put the dining table here, which is on the CGIs that we've had done. And we had the CGIs done thinking we'd sell them off plan, but it's just not turned out like that. I don't know if it's because of everything that's happened with COVID. We're not sure, but it just didn't work out like that. But now they're kind of more or less there. We've managed to obviously sell this one and potentially the one next door. So a little dining area, and you've got a little snug here, like a sofa or whatever you need. patio doors back out, so as you can probably see, we can go around the back, but we've started digging up the, so this is a school behind, and we need to get access into their main drain system. We thought that actually it was kind of looked after by Yorkshire Water. That's not the case, or Severn Trent. It's actually a private drain to the school, so a lot of fees came with that. He changed the conditions about 3 times, did the estate manager, and we finally got there. We've had to pay £7,000 for the privilege, but I'm sure it makes them a little bit more saleable than putting pumps in, so yeah, it's finally there. It was very stressful, and that's why we haven't started the groundworks up until now, which is quite late, because we didn't want to start them, and then luckily, I mean, he changed his mind 3 times. If we'd have started the groundworks, we'd have had to pull it all back up. That would have been a massive cost. It's a big cost anyway, so for our own peace of mind, we waited. So yeah.
It's got quite a good time at school holidays, presumably.
Perfect time. I think we've got until next week till the schools reopen. These stairs, they actually were about here, further on. So that's when you went down the stairs, you went straight into the bathroom wall. But luckily, with a little bit of DIY and creative thinking, we've managed to change the stairs, which has given us more space. So it's 3 bedrooms. This is the smallest bedroom, but it is a small double, which overlooks the school. So this is the back bedroom. So this is the rear double. All of our houses, whether it's a new build or a buy-to-let, is we put as many electrical points in as possible. Obviously things have changed since houses were originally built, so we have at least 4 or 5 electrical points, and we always put the TV and the aerial up on the wall as well, just because we don't really want, not in this particular one, but tenants messing about, digging holes in your walls when you just had them plastered. But yeah, it's quite a good size room. And then this here, this was the original boiler cupboard, but obviously now the boiler's been moved downstairs. We've just made this into some more storage, so you can put towels, etc., whatever they want in here, but that's quite a good space as well. So you can have a little look in there. And then my favourite room. So this is obviously the master bedroom with the little ensuite. We were going to put the ensuite with the rear bedroom, but it just makes sense to do it. So it's a bit bigger, and obviously you've got your little shower in there. We have on here, we have used multi-panel in the bathroom. We were going to tile it, but do you know what? It's an entry-level house. It's not top of the range, so we decided to put the multi-panel in. And then here is the bathroom. So this is your family bathroom. We've got a P-shaped bath. Obviously the shower needs to go in. Had a bit of a issue with the so when we put in the unit, the wall wasn't completely straight, so we've had a bit of a nightmare with that, so we've had to kind of cut into the wall to put the basin flush, but it's in, it's done, and it looks smart. Flooring's in here, so the flooring for the entire house probably should be in, I think it's due in not next week, the week after. Hola!
Hey, all right.
Yeah, you.
I got a camera on, have you?
Yeah.
Who's wanted? Go on, tell us about the boiler.
Why we've chose that boiler?
Yeah.
basically ideal, we chose that boiler because ideal do a condensing combi boiler which has got a preheat on, but for the new build sap calcs they can't have the preheat on because it makes the sap calc worse. So instead of turning the sap calc off, which they don't allow, they bought another model out, which is that one, which is more expensive.
Of course.
For doing something less than others, basically. So that's why we're going with that 5-year warranty as opposed to 10.
Cool.
Same boiler, just it's just what they do. So that's it.
So surprisingly, this land here, and there's a strip at that side, is not our land. So we bought this from auction from the same owner. We bought this, it used to be an old coal yard, and then we've tried to track down the guy who's owned that plot of land and the other strip since 2016, and it's only during lockdown he actually contacted us back. He wanted like £3,000 for one strip, 4 for another, and then there's I think it's this bit here, he wanted like £40,000 or something ridiculous, which is just never going to work. So, and like I explained further up, and unless we got the access point widened, we wouldn't have got any more properties on. So if we did that, we would have had to acquire one of the houses or a strip of land. So we just thought, do you know what, it's been going on for quite a while now, let's just get it done, sell it and move on. So I'll go around and have a look at the when we first went into property, so I didn't start full time with James until 2018. The previous year we had this plot of land and James was trying to get planning, and the idea was that because we'd just done the one at Wadsley, so it was 2 shops, 2 flats in 2016, so James he enjoys doing new builds, but we quickly realised it's very feast or famine, so that's why 2018 up until January this year we've just completely focused on buying buy-to-lets to build up as residual income each month.
59 years old.
And you got a camera on you, if that's alright.
Ah,
Now's your time to shine.
just wondering which is the best side. Right, well, we're connecting main sewer. Just going to take all 3 houses from a manhole in school. We're coming across here, diagonally up bank after we've created another manhole this side, to another manhole that goes to where this pin is, and that's eventually where all 3 houses join together with drainage, for foul drainage to go down, and all storm drainage is contained in 3 soakaways on back gardens. The drainage on front all comes down to a big soakaway on front. So we're basically just making a mess like boys with toys do.
So for this particular deal, we purchased this in auction, the land at auction in 2016. We've got a JV partner on board for this, and the reason for that is because he's managing on site the day-to-day, while James does the paperwork, the negotiating of the drainage easement, for example, and then we will split the fee 50-50, so the profit of the deal. And then we've got an angel investor on board that we've met through our network, who has lent us £350,000 on 10%, and so we'll be able to get his money back obviously a lot quicker than anticipated. We've sold one of the plots already. Each plot is on the market for 225, so roughly once we've sold them we will probably get each between £70,000 to £75,000 each profit from this particular deal. It's not the best deal in the world, but it's something that we had before we started socialising with a lot of property experts, so you don't know what you don't know, but we've learnt loads of lessons from this, and we're just glad it was something that we've done ourselves, because we've learnt that we would pay for the stuff we've learnt, so it's taught us lots of things to look out for in the future, definitely, and to be a little bit wary of architects, for example. They know nothing about planning, but we wouldn't have known that if we hadn't have gone through that process. So lots of lessons learned, and a bit of money out of it at the end, which is always nice, and we can move on to the next project.